to the chaos.
Welcome back to Rap Chaos in episode 11 of Mine Mogul. As you heard, I added a little tidbit onto the end of my intro video, and it could not be more fitting. I did that before recording and editing this video, but this episode has been nothing but chaos. Normally I talk while recording and just play the raw audio, when I'm done doing my video editing. But this time, my mic decided it didn't want to record. It took a vacation. So, I'm going to be doing a voiceover. It's my first time with it, so bear with me. Things may get a little bit off. But the plan today is to start building the factory, machines and all. To do that, I got to turn off all the machines and let everything run through. And while that's all running through, I'm going to run up, grab that large coal miner we put up there to get those couple of coal chunks for that quest. And I'm going to take that, because if I leave it there and I just turn on all the machines, that, when we're done building the factory, this coal miner right here will just absolutely destroy the game and just flood the area with coal chunks. So, that's definitely not something we want done. Now, while everything runs through and we wait for it to all trickle down, I'll let you in a little bit on the plan. We're going to be doing multiple floors of the factory. This bottom floor is going to be all steel. We're going to be making everything that we can possibly make with the steel. Plates, pipes, rods, threaded rods, the coiled wire, the, what is that new piece called? We'll see it when we get to it. But we're going to make sure we have everything running. We're going to do bottom floor steel. I'm going to get rid of these support pillars because they're just in the way. Look hideous, but we're going to leave some just to keep the illusion of support. But once we finish up the steel floor, we're going to move up to the second floor, which is iron. After the iron, we're going to do gold and then copper, trying to keep in somewhat of an order that we got going through the smelters. And I believe that was the last little pieces of ore going in. So we can now remove all the stuff that's here. And I mean everything. Everything's got to go. The steel factory is going to be intruding on this space. And we're not going to need this. We're going to have a different setup for every single ingot ore that we can. So to do that, though, we have to separate everything. And I think we'll start by getting the groundwork laid for the getting all the ingots off of the system. Putting in this one direction was easy, but now I gotta turn every single one. Same thing with the mergers. It's a pain in the butt that it doesn't remember your last known positioning, but I guess it makes it easier for when you're attaching belts together. In the normal way, I should say. So let's go ahead and get rid of the rest of this. Oh boy, I've got too much stuff in the inventory, so let's clear some stuff out here. What am I not going to need? I don't need the molds. Any of them. And that ingot mold is from the gold. So, I forgot we were doing gold gears. Alright, let's see. We can pick this stuff up, though. Alright, let's get rid of all this stuff. Make sure we pick up these last little remnants here. Gonna still keep the geode there for now. Let's go ahead and toss out some more stuff. That heavy auto miner we don't need. And made sure we had some room for the polisher. So now is when we're gonna have to figure out all these things, all the machines we need. We need a threading lathe. We don't need a packager. We need a rod extruder. We're gonna need a couple of them. One for rods, one for the threading lathe, and one for the coiled wires. I know they're backwards right now. This isn't a permanent setup. This is just me trying to figure out casing press. That's what it's called. This is just me trying to figure out wire coiler, what machines we need and how much space they're going to take. So that should be all the rod related items, and now we got to do the rolling mill related items. So we got 3 of them. We need plates, we need pipes, and we need those casings. So the pipes will go there. Now, granted, it takes 2 plates to make a pipe, but you know, there's only so much you can do with it. Can't avoid that part. So we got a casing press, which gives casings as well as scrap, and then we got just the normal plates. So those are all the machines we're going to need when it comes to building the factory. I guess really all we can do now is figure out how we're going to split this all up. So we're going to go ahead and get the roller splitters. We're going to get, I think, about 6 of them should do. If I'm doing the math right, I'm not 100% on that, but I know we're going to need them eventually anyway, so let's just grab them. Alright. Now, the good thing about these roller splitters, they are true 50-50 split. That little black spot is like electronic moving balls. So once something goes onto there, they'll alternate which way they go. Let's get rid of these machines so we can have some space to work with. Well, obviously we're going to put them back, but not in that exact location. Alright, so that'll split it 50-50. Then we can split it again 50-50. So now we're splitting it down to 25%, but we need 6 separate slots for each set of machine. 3 plate makers, 3 rod extruders. And it kind of doesn't line up right, so I guess we'll just make it line up right. Alright, that should do it. That gives us 6. Alright. There we go. Now let's start out with the rolling mills on this side. Just throw them right in there. Everything should just flow in nicely on all 3 of those. Perfect. Alright, let's get the pipe roller. These are the worst to deal with because they have the side entrance, so you can't just feed from one machine directly into another. Well, we can't put it that way, so we'll do that. We can jump it, I bet. Do we have one? No, we don't. So let's go ahead and get one of those, conveyor jumpers. What are they called? What are they called? Conveyor slope. No, not slopes. Ledge. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And I don't have room for that, so what can we get rid of? We'll get rid of the blast furnace. We don't need those. We don't need... Well, I guess we'll clean that out in a minute. Let's get the sledge in here. Make sure it's facing the right way. There we go. So that should just pop the plates off there and into the belt. Alright, let's see what we can do. That should all work out perfectly. Alright, next we've got the casing press. I'm wondering, this is a bigger item, so it might be more difficult to fit it in here. But let's see what it does. Let's see if we can figure this out. Oh, we gotta turn it around. Oh, you know what? It's only got the one input. It's got 2 outputs. This actually works out pretty good. send the plates from here directly into there. There we go. And then we got our regular plates coming out. And then we got the pipes coming out. The casings coming out and the scrap cubes coming out. So that should be pretty good. Alright, now let's look at a way to put these all together. Where is it? Where is it? The rolling merger is a lot cheaper than the whole lot cheaper than the splitter, which is nice. And we're gonna need quite a few of these. Let's just get an extra one just in case. Alright. Now these things, this is the first time I'm using these, and they seem pretty cool. And it looks like, yeah, they just kick everything over and you can switch sides, so everything ends up going into one belt out of those 4, which is nice. And we'll keep it onto that side because we also have to put the riot extruders in. So we'll do it that way, yeah. Accidentally hitting the wrong button to change my mind, I guess. Let's see, everything goes out that way. Everything goes out that way and goes in. Yeah. You know what, let's do the rod extruders first. This one I think is going to get a little bit tricky. There we go, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. That part was the easy part. Here's where it's going to get a little tricky. Let's do the wire coiler. Throw that in. Do we want it there? Let's put it at the end, yeah. Next, we need the threading lathe. There we go. Now this one goes in through the bottom, comes back out through the top on the same side. So we gotta make sure that it comes out of that spot that where the wrench head is there. And we gotta make sure we get a belt to take that out. But it's too close to do that. So let's move it forward. Let's move both of them forward one. Well, all of them really. So let's see what we can do here. Threading lathe, put that in. Wire coiler, let's put that in. And then we gotta get, there we go, get our bend to bring it back in the direction we want it to go. And like always, it's better to have it facing the direction of travel than facing out the way it came. But, you know, now that I look at this, we're gonna have that gap right there in the middle. So maybe we need to switch this around. Put the threading lathe on the outside so it goes to the middle piece. If I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Alright, so put that there. Still have it do the same thing. We gotta switch the belt directions on this, otherwise it wouldn't do any good. And then we'll run just the regular rods right down the middle. And the threaded rods at that point. So, there we go. We got the space, but we don't need it to go that far. We can just put the merger right in there. Get it as close over as we can. Now, this is where we run into a bit of a problem. How are we going to do this? Do that there. I guess we just move it over and then do it again. So that merger, second merger there isn't necessary, but I mean it just scoots it over one square, which is probably the cleanest way to do it with what is available to us right now. So let's get this polish sorter in. Again, it shouldn't be necessary at this point, but it is a cool machine, and I definitely like having it in there. So, some of you eagle-eyed viewers may have realized what I've done there, what mistake I've made, but we'll find that out in the near future, the not so distant future. Sorry to break the fourth wall there, but we're gonna spin this around so everything can come out, which everything will anyway. But you know, now that I think about this, that curve with plates tends not to go very well. And I'm not sure about these other items. They're smaller, so they should be fine, but those plates with the wall curve, it's going to be ugly. And I'm wondering if, well, no, I need that stuff there. Because that stuff, it doesn't matter if they're conveyors. They can be conveyors, that's just fine. Let's see, can we use this? No, it doesn't seem like we can. It'll hit the ledge there. Again, not much is going to be coming, but there's a possibility. So we want to avoid that if we can. I think we'll just fix this situation here. Get rid of that. Put the merger back in. And we're going to need to get ourselves another ledge. We'll probably need a lot of them for this whole build, but let's focus on this right now. Alright. So, we're gonna throw the ledge in, so anything that gets sent in here, we'll hop the ledge and onto that conveyor there. So let's go ahead and let's put some scaffolding down just in case things go over the edge. And we've got this fence wall here that we can use. Let's let's try and play around with that so nothing will bounce. It'll just hit the wall and stay on the conveyor. And to make sure it doesn't go off the back there, put one on the back there. And we know how sometimes things can be a little funky. So we'll go ahead and put this entire area after the polished order all fenced in. And that'll keep things a little bit more in line with where they should be. And it doesn't look half bad, I have to say. So it looks like we've got all of these machines in there. But now it's time to start focusing on the second floor and third, fourth floor. But we also got to figure out how high we have to go and how high we can go and meet that happy middle so we have enough space for everything as far as how many floors we need, but we also want to make sure that we're over all the machines, and then 2 walls will definitely get us over the machines. And we'll have to put a floor in every 2 walls. So let's get one up there, just see what it's like. And we're gonna get rid of all the legs there, but we do want to test it out and just to see how high this is gonna end up bringing us. Let's get the walls down in our hotbar since we're gonna be swapping to them quite a bit. There we go. There's another 2. That is not looking good because that only gives us 2 floors. And it does not look like there's much room for more, but let's check. Maybe it's just a perspective thing. Can't really see up there, so let's get up a little bit higher. There we go. Perfect. Now let's get up on there and take a look. Alright. Oh. Yeah, that is way too high. Alright. So we can't do full 4 floors with 2 walls high. Let's see what we can do here. We got the one. We have the option for half walls too. Let's try that. See how that ends up looking. If I can get them to fit right. Oh, no. There we go. That's the one we want. Same size as the big wall, width-wise, but half the height. So let's get rid of that, and let's check. It looks close. So let's see what we end up with. There goes another one. Oh, I can jump. There we go. Well, it covers the casing machine pretty well, it looks like. That light barely misses it, and again, we're not going to have the legs there. So, it'll, it won't look half bad. It just looks like a floor right above it. Yeah, that's not too bad. What worries me is this, threading lathe, because that seems to be sticking up a little bit more. And I can see it right now. It's sticking out. But, you know, when we build a factory above it, it should have a machine over it, or a belt over it. You won't even notice it coming through the ground. You know, it's not ideal. I hate that it does that, but it's really the only way to do this and leave us enough room. So I guess we'll have to live with it. It should be alright. So, let's get rid of these smaller ones. Almost got rid of the machine there. And we'll have to build up all the walls as well as the floor. But first, let's hook up the steel ingots directly to it. There we go. So now whenever we turn it on and it starts making steel, the first couple will be iron, but once it starts making steel, we should be good to go with that set. Now, I'm going to go ahead and build all the walls and work on getting the iron up to the next floor. And that should be it. Alright, so we got the walls built, the floor built, and we've already built the setup for the iron coming up. So the iron will come out, go into the packager, come up the elevator, go into the unpackager, come out here, and into the splitters. Same kind of splitter system that we've got going on, but we've got those fences there to stop it from falling off the sides. Now, I need more splitters, so we're gonna have to get that. It should be fine with another 4, because we only used 5 before. But we are gonna need another 5 for each floor, so let's get the total, all the ones we're gonna need. So that should be it for everything. So, and we're gonna need the mergers too. We need 6, yeah, 6 per floor, so we're gonna need another 18 of these. Luckily they're cheap. We'll go up to, bring it up to 20 and bring it down a couple. There we go. But I already had one, so we'll end up with one extra. Not a big deal. We can sell it if we really need to. Or I'm sure we can find some use for it. Alright. Let's do our whole split the splitters thing we got going on. Spin around, put it where it belongs. Boom. There we go. Go. And there we go. And we're gonna add the rails in, line everything up nice and neat. There we go, perfect. What? Oh, left a little bit of floor floating up there from our experiments. Oh, you know, there is one thing we are missing from this setup. That is, we have nowhere for the ingots to go. So, it looks like we can send them down here. We just gotta find a way to get them out. So let's throw a splitter in there and split them off early. And that way, you know, getting this turned around is gonna be a pain. But not terrible. Oops. It's gonna be terrible if I put belts in the wrong direction, or rollers. Get things moving up there. And you know what? We need more rollers. We need some jumps too, ledges. But I just gonna worry about the rollers right now. so that way we can get this figured out. We'll throw those through. Now I'm thinking about it, look at that. We got enough space for this to all merge into each other. And then merge into the main line. So let's go ahead and do that. Switch the direction on that, there we go. So now all the ingots will merge in with the pipes, which will merge in, then merge in with the casings, which will then merge in with the plates, and join everything else and go straight through the whole system there. I did build these stairs to be able to get up and down from the first and second floor. A little bit easier. Now we gotta figure out a way to do the same thing with the iron. But I don't really have a lot of room here. Maybe, yeah, just send it out to the side there. Now the belt should be perfect right there. And we could probably just hop it over, send it down. And breaking the fourth wall again, I'm already seeing a way I could do this better. So maybe that'll be something we fix in the next episode. But let's get some ledges. We need a top chute, a couple regular chutes, and I think we're gonna go with an angled chute. See how that turns out. So let's grab these all up. There we go. Come on. I gotta really do something about those boxes. And figure out why I keep getting caught on that wall. Alright. So conveyor ledge, have it jump onto there, have it go into there, so there we need a chute. Now these are just ingots, so ingots should fit through just fine. We'll get some regular chutes in, drop down to see better. Alright, we're right at the bottom here, let's see. An angled chute. Looks like it might work, but the bottom chute definitely gives us a lot more clearance. So that should be fine. And I think I'll go back in at some point to put a wall on the side there where it's open to make sure nothing bounces out. And I am stuck. There we go. Alright, let's see. What do I need? I need machines. I've got a pipe roller already. Let's see. We're gonna need a little bit of everything here. Let's make some space. See, I'm not gonna need the basket lids. I'm not gonna need. I might need the chutes. I don't think I'm gonna need the regular conveyors right now. So let's get rid of those. I need the rolling mill. Let's put that in the hot bar. I need the pipe roller. Let's see, what else can I do here? I need 2 more of those. We don't need the smart splitter. We don't need the shorter conveyors. We don't need the screw conveyors. We don't need the ore crushers. So, that's all. The ore crushers are already put in place, and the screw conveyor's not going to really do us any good right now. So let's get 2 more rolling mills, 3 rod extruders. We have the pipe roller. We need a casing press, a wire coiler, and a threading lathe. And that should be it. Yep, there's 89,000 and almost all of our money. That is awesome. Let's go up top and see what we can do, see what kind of nonsense we can create. Alright, let's see. Maybe we put the rod extruders on this side because we have the ingot molds there. Or the ingots coming out that way. Let's give them the extra space there. Let's see. Oh. We're going to need to kick this out really far up if we do this. I don't think that'll work. Let's, we are limited on how much space we have until we get to the basket. So let's continue with plate rollers. We can see if we can figure something out here. Now, let's see, the casing press. How did we do it before? No, that can't be right, because that's going to block pipe rollers. Let me look. Alright, so... oh, because they were in line, that's why it was easier. But these machines aren't as long as the ones that use the rod extruders, so... maybe we can do something with this. We need... no, that's not right. Because then it's blocking the plates. But maybe not. No. We put the pipe roller here. Yeah, there we go. No. That's going to be the same thing. We're going to have to get the pipe roller onto that one side. We're going to have to figure this out. Hang on a minute here. Ingots have to go off that way. It doesn't make sense for them to not. And it would be extremely difficult to try and kick everything over that way. One. You know what? Let's give it a try anyway. No, let's not do that. Let's do that. There we go. Ooh, I bet you we can merge everything over. Nah, we'll just jump it. We should have jumped there. Well, let's work backwards here. So we're gonna have to jump that one. And then jump over this way. And there we go. That should work out to get the ingots where we want them to go. And then we'll line everything back up. And get all these machines in. And let's give this another try and see how it goes. Yeah, I definitely think this is gonna work. You just gotta remember, there's another mistake that some of you eagle-eyed viewers may notice. Actually, two mistakes that I made here, which we'll find out later in the episode. Now we gotta merge all this together again. That'll give us the pipes and the scrap. This will give us the casings and the plates. Join those together. And this doesn't line up. Let's do it that way. Do the same thing we did down there. Just add those two pieces in instead. And that really does not leave us a lot of room. Oh, awesome. So, let's, well, why don't I just jump onto a line? That'll, with both of those. Honestly, you could probably do it even further back. Yeah, let's do it further back, because we're going to have to jump them anyway. And this will give us a little bit more space. Now, I am going to have to go back in and put walls on all of these. But that's just as a precaution, just to be extra safe. So we'll jump it again here. And then let's get that roller conveyor that we don't have Awesome. Let's go ahead and get this. Not roller conveyor. Polished sorter. That's what the word I was looking for. Again, it's not necessary, but it is a cool machine. It's a new machine. Looks pretty neat. And, you know, no, that's not right. There's no room for a polisher to go in. And this machine is backwards. Awesome. Let's try this again. And delete a floor while we're at it. Why not? Where are they? There. Alright, let's try and get rid of that. Alright, got rid of the feet on that. Like, again, if you have the wrench and something's yellow, that means the feet have been removed. Let's turn this around to get them facing the right way. Alright, there we go. And turn that around. There we go. Now we're leaving some space for a polisher. There we go. Add in some the polish machine. Add in some walled conveyors. There we go. We'll have to add in a merger here. And I wonder, let me get this merger put in place. Turn that around. Alright. I'm wondering if this is a good spot for a curved roller conveyor. We got enough space to work with, so might as well get the roller conveyor corner, which again, still a work in progress. I'm wondering if they're possibly looking at a way to make it smaller, so it would fall in line with the regular conveyors. But let's get this a little bit further out. See, is that going to line up? No, it is not. So let's remove that. Let's send the rails out a little bit more. Let's do one. No, let's see where this puts us. It should line us up. That is perfect. Awesome. So let's go ahead. Put these belts in. We could have it drop there. I'm going to have it drop more towards the middle of the box. That way it doesn't clip an edge. And let's get rid of all these feet, because they'll get in the way eventually. And we can just use the logic that in a real factory, most of those, a conveyor like that would just be hung from the ceiling. Unfortunately, they don't give us that option. Let's go down here, put these ledges in on the steel where we're going to send the ingots. That should be that. That's easy enough. That wasn't too bad. Alright, let's take a look, make sure we've got everything set here. Alright. Both the sets of ingots should come down here, but you know what? We didn't polish them. So let's go ahead and get that polisher. It's in here somewhere. There we go. Buy that. Alright, let's pick that up. And we'll throw that down, facing the right direction. Alright, so now everything that comes through there will get polished, which is nice. Now I gotta run all the way around because I didn't leave myself a way in through there. Gotta go all the way around the whole mine, the whole smelting setup. That's not a big deal. Now, what we need to do is figure out a way to get the gems and the iron, and the gold and the copper sent over there. So, let's go ahead and put a merger in. Let's work on getting the copper and the gold over there, because we need to make some money. We can't afford to build the rest of the factory right now. So let's, oh. Hit the wrong button. There we go. There we go. And we're out of conveyors. Luckily we got a bunch sitting around, so we can just go grab those. I only had those because I picked them up from deleting things. So there we go, 112 of them. That ended up coming out in a pretty nice neat stack, so those boxes are much better off than the big pile I got by the computer. But let's connect the copper into the gold line again, and let's lift it up from here. But you know what? We got 2 sets coming in here. Let's just use the wall conveyors, keep some kind of consistency here. We got to turn it around back on itself, and it's on the level that it needs to be on. We just need to get it to connect. There we go. Add in a curve. There we go. And now, do we use the regular ones? Well, no, because we're gonna have the gold, the coal, and the gold, copper, and gems coming through there. So let's use the wall conveyors. I think we have enough to be able to get this done. Does kind of block our view of all the ingots coming out, but it won't stop them from coming out. Do I turn here? No. I don't think I want to turn here. Let's, you know what? Let's take it all the way to the wall. And then turn. There we go. You know what might be perfect? Is this fit in exactly where we have it? Perfectly. Just like that. That is amazing. That should work out outstanding. Everything should be coming out smoothly. We've got everything built for the iron, for the steel. Should be alright. Let's turn everything on, and we'll run it through its paces and see how it comes out. Good viewpoint. Should be able to get a good viewpoint from up here on the iron. See some of the stuff come in and start to be processed, so we'll step away for a second and come back when the ore is there. And there's the ore. Alright, first ingots came out. They were iron because the coal smelter hadn't gotten enough coal there. There's some coal just going into the smelter. Don't think we're quite at steel level of coal, but we got some stuff going through. We'll have to keep an eye on all of this, make sure everything moves smoothly. We got the first couple iron bars going into the packager, and that brings it down up to 11% full. Alright, so it's going to take quite a bit of ingots to go in there. I think, if I'm doing my math correctly, it'll take 27 ingots, which will be about 9 run-throughs. So it's going to be a little bit before we see a box coming up here. Well, there's some steel going through. Looked like one went to the ingots and then the other 2 split off into machines. So that worked out pretty well. But what worries me is right there. 2 went up to ingots and 1 went to a machine. I think we've got the split for ingots too early. But we'll have to see how that ends up working out. But seeing all these, there it is. Big old pile. It's kind of getting through there somewhat. Some of these are already polished. A lot of these are polished already. What is the problem? And it definitely seems to have taken me far longer than it should have to figure out the problem. And there it is. There, I figured it out. I've got the curves in the wrong spot. They should be where that stuff is piling up. Just like those trays there. Bam. There goes a mess. There we go with that. And there we go. Working. That's better. Let's get this all cleaned up here. Throw that onto the pile. It'll all go through. I'll kick over to the side because it's already been polished. And we've got a polisher here that leads to a polisher. But you know what? It's fine. It'll stop everything from piling up in that polishing machine. And it'll still get to where it's going. It's not like it costs anything extra to continue to run a polisher. So, which is nice about this game. There's no electricity costs, otherwise you'd have to think twice about making big factories like this. All this is coming out nice. Casings, plates, pipes. That's looking good, and there's a mistake. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I didn't see it when playing. So, let's keep an eye on this. See if we can catch some of this stuff coming out. Got iron going into the box. There comes the box. Let's watch this. Oh, I fell. Okay. So, I guess we can just hop the elevator. If you crouch down, it'll bring you up, but make sure you jump. Alright, there comes the ingots going through the plates. Okay. And through the... Uh-oh. There it is. There's a problem. What's causing the problem? It's actually two problems. Give me one of those rods. Let's see. Yep, it's backwards. Of course it's backwards. So let's just grab everything up here. Let's see if we can just throw some of these through. No? Okay. Oh, we tried. Let's fix this here. Put it in the right way. Turn that around. There we go. Now it should work properly. This, however, will never work. Because there's nothing sending it out to the side. So let's get that in there. That should work. There we go, just like that. Grab that. Not that way. There we go. Alright. So everything now should be running pretty smoothly. For the most part. And that looks like it might be piling up the ingots over there. On that rod extruder. Yep. Oh boy, it'd be nice to have a ingot straightener here, but we can only do two of them, or one of them. Two of them are right on the edge of a merger. We don't really quite have the room to squeeze one in. Are we having the same problem down here on the steel? Let me check. No, those are right. Yeah, this steel seems to be going okay, so I don't know why the iron is going. Unless it gets kind of knocked a little funky with the, from coming out of unpackager. That's the only thing I can think might be the possibility. Let's see. You know what? We don't need ingots right now. We need steel pipes. So let's, when this goes through, see that, there it is again. Two ingots going to ingots. We don't need them right now. So let's just hook this up. We'll figure out a better way to put the ingots through going forward, and we'll have to figure something out, but we can do that. We don't need them right now, so I'm not overly worried about it. We'll just focus on getting some of this stuff done so we can start earning some more money so we can finish off our factory. You know, we've got iron done today. We got steel done today. You know, there comes the iron coming out. It's coming out real nice. Nice and smooth. Coming out at a good pace. I think with iron we might want to do something similar. So it splits out later on. But I did notice the box almost fell off this elevator, so we'll do something similar to that we did by the box, the sail box, and put some fencing up around it. Well, let's bring it down one. There we go. So now it's not likely to fall off. If it falls off, it's low. When it happens, let's see how this works. 91%. We should get it with this next batch. 98.8. There we go. Went through nice and smooth. Awesome. Just wish I could jump up high enough to get that. Now we got some problems with steels. So we're getting to see some of the issues with this factory design. But we do seem to have a little bit of space to be able to get in straightening conveyors in. It's going to take quite a bit of work to get that straightened out, but we have enough space down there. And yeah, we definitely have enough space up here because we've got all those couple straights going out to the curve. I think we can make that work pretty easily. So that should not be a problem. And I'm considering maybe getting rid of these mergers here too, because we're doing the jump thing anyway. So worst case scenario, we can just jump everything onto one single line, put fencing around it so it doesn't go off the side or pile up over the top, and that'll definitely give us the space to be able to put a straightening conveyor in, so we don't have to deal with this nonsense happening, because there's going to become times where we're just too busy to keep an eye on things, because we're either setting up new factories or new mines, figuring out how to run belts all the way down from those upper reaches of the mines, you know. So this is definitely something we want to get figured out now, so we can get our, yep, there's another one, so we can get our layout hammered out before we do the gold and copper. But I think that will end up coming next time. We'll just keep an eye on this. Yep, that makes it through okay. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, those all made it through, so it's hard to tell why some get stuck and some don't. But is anything falling through or falling off? Everything looks to be falling into the box, alright. So that's pretty good. And we messed up on one of the floors, so let's fix that. And put in the correct floor. There we go, get rid of the legs. Bam. I like that those little things stick out. They kind of look like ceiling lights. And speaking of lights, if this area is too dark for you guys, please let me know in the comments. I will get some lights and find ways to make them work in this confined space. But I think next time we're going to end up fixing the issues we saw with these two factories, mostly the ingot straightening conveyor. Then we're going to worry about building up for the copper, or the gold, and then the copper, and get those factories running. And, you know, as I look at it, we might have space to even squeeze the gold in here on the side. And then we're not going too far up, and there's some interesting stuff up there. That looks like a little alcove that might lead into the upper areas too. So we may be able to tap into the upper areas and send everything out from that way, unpackage everything, and send it down to join the sorter. So I think that'll do it for us on this one. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, so you can come back and see the second part of the factory. If you got any kind of tips or anything, please leave a comment. So until next time, we'll see you.